we've come to the end. Thank you for sticking with me, and thank you for being patient while I get this review up. But because so much time has passed, I'm not going to give you a recap. I'm just going to give you my top 5 moments of the season finale of Game of Thrones. So let's get into this review. This moment that I have to talk about is the gang getting back together. I love seeing the gang coming together and just all the enemies just sitting down and watching each other. I love Cersei's facial expressions throughout the entire time, because this is my thing about Cersei. Daenerys flies in on a dragon. We'll get to that later. She flies in on a dragon to this meeting. Cersei isn't shook for one moment. However, when the Hound releases that White Walker suddenly out of nowhere, Miss Cersei is shook. She ain't never shook from anything else, but that White Walker shook her up. I was just like, what kind of gangster is Cersei? I've never seen a woman this, like, gutter. Nothing scares her besides an undead White Walker, but a dragon? Nothing. Another moment that I love was my girl Dany arriving to this gangs all here meeting on a dragon. This is what you do, right? This is how you show up to your haters. She showed up with her dragon, got off, didn't make no eye contact with anybody, then sat down and looked right at Cersei. I said, yes, girl. This is how you show up to a meeting with your haters. And I just really love that there weren't a lot of words in this scene, but there was just so many facial expressions, and that just speaks to the actors and how talented they are, because you could read everybody's faces, especially when Dany arrived with that dragon. The third thing that I love from this episode was Sansa not being a horrible person. From season 1 up until now, I thought that she was just the worst. So to see her and Arya work together to overtake Littlefinger, because when she summoned Arya to the meeting to basically in front of the council accuse her of treason, guys, seriously, I was up and I was pacing. I was just like, if she put her hands on Arya, I'm done with this show. I've quit this show so many times. I was pacing, and to see her make all of these accusations towards Arya and then say, well, how do you plead, Lord Baelish? Girl, I yelled. I could not believe it. I was just like, oh my goodness, Sansa, you're not awful. And I immediately felt bad because I've hated her for seasons. I was so excited. But did you see Littlefinger's face? He was like, because he thought he had them. And I love the fact that these 2 young girls from the House of Stark was able to overtake this dude who has always been so many steps ahead of people who are much older than the Stark girls. So I don't know. I just really love the fact that Sansa wasn't awful. And I love the scene where Arya, what has this show turned me into? I love the scene where Arya slit Littlefinger's throat. But, you know, what I will say about that is that to me, it was like the homegirl, it came full circle. You know what I mean? Like, first time we saw her, she was this little child. Now she's this gangster swordswoman, and she just comes up and severs his throat, put her, knife back in the shield, and then walks away like a G. I was just like, okay, House of Stark. I'm not at all approving of incest. However, when Jon smashed Daenerys' cakes from here to high heaven, I was here for it. I was just like, oh, wait a minute. Because, guys, maybe I'm just ignorant to incest, but when he went to her door, I thought that he was really going to ask her a question. And then the way she opened that door, I was just like, are they about to bang? I mean, I know they don't know that they're family, but I was just like, wait, hold up. No, don't wait up. Oh. Okay, get it, Jon. You know what I mean? Like, I just had a whole moment through watching that scene. And okay, Jon Snow, them alabaster cakes was nice. In my 5th and final moment, that was the best of this episode for me. I hate to say it, I feel bad for even saying it, but man, dead White Walker Viserion, yo, that scene was epic. I felt so bad. Like, I thought that I knew he was going to show up as a dragon at some point, a White Walker dragon at some point. I did not think that he was going to come in like this. So, about the whole, ice wall or whatever. I didn't know how they were going to break it. When they broke through, I thought that they were just going to chip it away. When the Night King came flying on Viserion and that baby opened his mouth and electric blue fire took down that wall, I said, wait a minute. Listen, I know we're not friends with the producers of this show right now, but let me tell you something. That scene, woo! Bravo. Like, that was such a good scene. He just came through and he just spit that fire and took down the wall. Lord, I pray that Tormund is okay. Like, that's the only thing. I know the show kills off a lot of people like The Walking Dead, but just let Tormund survive. Because I need for him and Brienne of Tarth to actually, you know, get together. I need to see them having them big babies and all that stuff that he dreamed about. But that scene for me, that was epic. That was the best thing ever because I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was going to come like that. Wow. I'm a fan of the Night King, but that's how you go to war. If you gonna go to war, you gotta come correct. That dude set the stage flawlessly. He built his army. He had some giants. He had some undead children. And then he flew in on an undead dragon with ice blue fire. Now, what was Viserion spitting out fire or like icicles? I don't know what it was, but it took me out. So that's my top 5. Now here are my theories. I think that Jon and Dany are going to marry. I think that some point throughout their relationship she's going to get pregnant and then they're going to find out that they're related. I think after Dany gives birth she's going to go crazy because, you know, she's going to be the mad queen. Then Jon is going to have to lock her away because she's out of her mind, and then he is going to be the rightful, then he's going to be, you know, serving on the Iron Throne because I don't think that he would take it from her. I think Jon is such a good guy and he loves Dany so much, even though he's the rightful heir to the throne, I think he would still let her lead. That's the only way that we're going to get Jon to be the king and, you know, serve on the Iron Throne. So I think that's what's going to happen. And I think because he loves her so much, he won't kill her because she's going mad. He'll just lock her away. And I think that Jorah is going to break her free and kidnap her and take her out of the prison or whatever that Jon has her in, and they're going to live happily ever after in exile. I already told you this theory, but I have an addition to it. I think that Jaime is going to kill Cersei after she has their baby, right? But then I think that Euron is going to kill Jaime for killing his betrothed. I don't know if they'll be married at that point, but I think he's going to kill him for not only killing Cersei, because I don't even think he really cares about her, but I think that way, that's the only way that he's going to be able to serve, you know, on the gold throne or whatever. So I think that that's what's going to happen. That Yara and Theon are going to overtake Euron, and then they are going to take all the spoils back to Jon, and then they're going to go back to the Iron Islands and serve, you know, their lives there or whatever. The Iron Islands, right? Yeah, the Iron Islands, and serve their life there and just be allies to Jon. But I think at first they're going to overtake Euron because they have so much history. There's no way that they're not going to get back at this dude. And those are my theories. Here's another theory that is not my theory, but I've been seeing it a lot, and it's starting to make a little sense to me. What do you think about Bran actually being the Night King? Because it has yet to be discussed their connection that they have, and I'm thinking that that's a really believable theory. Like, this show, I mean, it's fantasy, so they can make anything work with that idea. So I'm thinking that that might be something we should look into a little bit deeper, because at first when I heard it, I was like, whatever, but now it's starting to make sense. So tell me what you think about the theory that Bran is actually the Night King. So that is my top 5, and that is my theories. Thank you for sticking with me this entire season. I am sad that it was so short and that it's done. I am excited that it's going to be coming back next year or the year after next, whenever it comes back. I'm excited about it, and I'll be reviewing it then. Also, we're going to get a spin-off from Game of Thrones, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a spin-off of Daenerys and Jon's offspring. So maybe we then can get a look into, you know, when Daenerys went mad and all of those things. So I think that's going to happen to her. There's too much talk about the Mad King for that not to happen to her. Anyway, that's where it ends, and I had a good time, and thank you for joining me. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and stick around for my other shows. If you have any suggestions of any TV shows, not reality TV, because I know some of you are just here for the TV shows and not reality TV, but if you have any TV shows that you want me to review, please let me know. I will be reviewing The Walking Dead when it comes back, so stick around for that. Hope to see you there. Bye, guys.